yeah, it leads now to this tag gauntlet. And this tag gauntlet took up most of the show, and I thought it was pretty decent. I thought it was pretty decent. It entertained me for the most part. There was a couple points. There was a point where I thought it started to drag, um, and the ending was a little off for me, but not. It'd be nitpicking. But basically, I'll take you through the gauntlet real quick. Here was something interesting. Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews come out. Now, I heard these guys were tag teaming. I don't know if this is new, but surprisingly, I thought they had great chemistry. I don't know what they're going to be like on promos, if this is going to be a legit tag team, a makeshift tag team, but I thought in the ring they worked pretty well together. They worked well as a tag team. They had some good double team moves. And I was surprised by it. Because I didn't think they would actually be I wasn't even interested by the pairing, to be honest. But when I saw them wrestle, I was like, that's all right. That's something. That's something. We'll see if they're gonna make that something in the future. They did actually beat in the gauntlet. They beat the I literally can't remember the name. I've heard the name a million times. Fantastico. I don't fucking know their name. I just wrote down in my notes Spanish group, not LWO. So I think people will get that. Delo Fantasma. Am I close? El Diablo Fantasma. I know it's Phantasma. I know I got that. But anyway, they get beat by Baron Corbin and Apollo. They moved on to the next round. Well, I don't know if you consider it rounds, but let's call them rounds for the sake of the conversation here. There was a point where Cruz had a pretty bad landing on a belly to back suplex. He got basically folded. And I don't know if that actually injured him or if it, just kind of stunned him for a minute, but he did look like he was a little nervous there. But it was a pretty nasty fall. But yeah, he was able to finish it, and then the Profits came out. Street Profits come out, and basically, I think I don't remember if that belly to back was in during the Street Profits round there, but basically, Profits pin Cruz, then the Profits move on to the next round, and Pretty Deadly come out. Now, Pretty Deadly, they're basically the homoerotic tag team. But I feel like, it's wrestling. They have at least characters. It's a personality. It's I guess a bit generic in the sense of like it's almost like every generation had sort of a homoerotic tag team. Chuck and Billy, I guess that's kind of where I get the vibe of Chuck and Billy in the Pretty Deadly group or tag team. But at least they're trying. They're doing something. They're showing some personality. They're taking chances out there. That's they're also they work well together. I think the two guys work well together. They're a legit pre-packaged tag team. And there's going to be actually a conversation that's going to come later where I think they need to figure out tag teams and how to push these tag. They've been struggling with this for a long time. But I was really getting the feeling while I was watching this, because this is the point of the match where I felt like it started to drag a little bit, was when Pretty Deadly, it started out pretty hyped and energized, and then somewhere in the middle of this Pretty Deadly Profits clash, it started to sort of die. Like I was like, I don't think they have good chemistry, those two teams. But yeah, basically there was a point where I'm just watching it and I'm just thinking like Montez needs to go solo. I think it's time for him to break away. I think this tag team is going nowhere. They've done everything they pretty much, I think, done everything they can with that tag team. This B-Fab combination is going nowhere. Bobby Lashley, is he injured or did they break them up? I don't know. But that team I sort of liked, that group, but I think Montez just needs to break away, go solo. Time for Montez because I think he's going to be a huge baby face, singles baby face one of these days. And I think it's getting very close to that time. He's getting wasted. It's starting to get to that point where I think he's being wasted in the Street Profits. And Dawkins, I don't know where he's going to sort of fall. Like, as I was watching this match, I don't know if anybody's made this comparison before, but he really reminds me of D'Lo Brown. He looks just like D'Lo Brown at points. He wrestles like D'Lo Brown. He moves like D'Lo Brown. Yeah, that's what I see in him. I don't know if I'm not really particularly fond of his personality. I think it's kind of generic, but at least he has a personality. Maybe he'll turn into something himself. I don't know. That's if you get lucky, but you have definite money with Montez. But yeah, it's one of those things is WWE just like they're too comfortable with where Montez is. They're afraid to break up the team because it's something that basically still works, but you run the risk of keeping him there too long. You want to break them up when they are hot because then you can at least kind of maneuver that into Montez's solo career. Or you have Dawkins be the one to turn on him, and that way it's like at least you have that Montez isn't the one that ruined the good thing for the fans, and Dawkins goes right into being a heel. Maybe you could pull that off. Who knows? But then, I get to the thing of like the WWE sometimes doesn't want to, and Triple H doesn't want to commit to anything new. It takes them forever to finally commit to it. Okay, but let me move on because I'm going to speed through the rest of these. Profits pin Pretty Deadly. The Profits basically were the workhorses through this whole gauntlet. They pin Pretty Deadly. Then the OC comes out. Why are they still there? I don't fucking know. They're just a waste of time. Never really amounted to anything in the WWE. I don't think beyond the AJ Styles pairing there, but yeah, I don't know what they're still. It's just a tag team to throw in. That's how I felt. But again, I was still kind of bored through this. This is where the match dragged and didn't pick up through the whole OC time being there. There was a point where Dawkins almost fucking like face planted right into the announce table, almost took out his fucking the bottom row of his teeth. Almost left his teeth in Michael Cole's lap. I don't even know if Michael Cole's there. Who is it? Corey Graves? Yeah. But yeah, basically Profits pin OC and then move on to the final round. And that is where the Bloodline makes their entrance. I'm going to take one. Bloodline makes their entrance. Jacob Fatu and Tonga make their way to the ring with the entire Bloodline. And basically, well, I think this was the first time we saw and heard Jacob Fatu's entrance. I thought his entrance was great. His entrance felt like a problem was coming down to the ring. It felt like hell business just picked up. Hellfire and brimstone, but as a Samoan. But I liked his entrance music. I thought it was pretty badass. I thought his entrance was badass. I thought the pyro going with the music and them just kind of making their way to the ring. I thought it was good. I thought it was a nice aesthetic to the Jacob Fatu thing. And plus we always have the complaints about how shitty music is nowadays. I was happy that they gave him a pretty good theme song. I thought it was pretty decent. But yeah, this is where I'll start nitpicking a little bit. I felt like, and I could have sort of not been paying attention as hard as I thought, but I felt like they should have kind of played up a little more. Maybe with the Profits that, oh fuck, it's the Bloodline. Almost like we kind of in this whole mist of all this whole thing. Oh, we forgot the Bloodline's coming. I felt like the Profits could have played that up a little bit more. I'm not saying have a fucking full on panic attack, but maybe showing their face like, oh fuck, like give it kind of a little more of a sell. Again, I'm nitpicking here. I thought also to nitpick, I thought Jacob took a little too much damage. I felt like the Bloodline really should have just came in and picked up the pieces of the Profits. That way the Profits could still be protected. They had to go through what 3 or 4 other teams before the Bloodline. So them getting beat kind of easy wouldn't have taken away from their effort. But again, I'm nitpicking. I thought the ending was pretty decent. I thought the Bloodline picking up the win was the right call. They should be winning. I think they're going to start collecting some gold. I honestly, I'm at the point where I hope Solo Sikoa actually beats Cody Rhodes, because anything but Cody, anyone but Cody. Yeah. So I'm gonna say that I think the Profit, not the Profits, the Bloodline are actually gonna pick up that title win. I believe it's gonna happen at SummerSlam, right? I think they're just gonna pick up that title win anyway. I think they're just gonna start giving them some gold, You got to build them up so you could tear them down. So I think at least that'll give them a little more. I don't think Solo's ready to be the champion yet, but again, at this point, I'm almost just. I kind of want to see it because I almost want to see Roman come back, because I don't want to see Roman come back and get his fucking revenge on Cody for winning. Please, I have no interest in that. But Solo with the belt could be interesting. However, there's talks that Roman is going to come back at SummerSlam, but now I'm a little more against that idea. I think I'm not even against the idea. I think it would be cool if he did, but I don't think they're going to do it. I think SummerSlam, I have the strange feeling that Solo may actually win by hook or by crook. I think it's going to be by crook. He's going to beat Cody Rhodes. I know I may be reaching. He's going to beat Cody Rhodes, and then that even gives Roman extra to go at the Bloodline. I know you don't really need it, but them running like that, he really did take Roman's place. And he's got his new Usos, he's got his new stable, new enforcer, and now he's the champion with the shells around his neck. I think that's where the story kind of goes. But I know I'm reaching. It's probably going to be fucking whoa music at the end of SummerSlam. Everybody hit their whoa.